February 22, 2014, Mazatlan, Mexico. 6:40 a.m. Mexican Marines breach the door of a beachfront condo. Flashbangs. Automatic weapons shouting. Inside, a man is sleeping. Short, mustache, 56 years old. He wakes up confused, hands in the air.
You're under arrest!
El Chapo. The most wanted drug lord in the world. Leader of the Sinaloa Cartel. Responsible for smuggling over 500 tons of cocaine into the United States worth an estimated $1 billion. Captured. Again. This is the second time they've caught him. He escaped once before in 2001. Walked out of a maximum security prison hidden in a laundry cart, spent 13 years on the run. Now they have him again. The Mexican government makes a promise.
He will never escape again.
They're building a new prison, the most secure in Mexico. Cameras everywhere, guards everywhere, escape-proof. El Chapo smiles when they tell him this. He's already planning.
Before we dive into this incredible prison escape, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the hype button.
It takes a second, but it helps this channel survive and tell more stories like this one.
Did you film this, Joni? Okay, let's move on.
July 2014. Altiplano Federal Prison, 90 kilometers west of Mexico City. This is Mexico's ADX Florence, their Supermax, the place where escape is impossible. Security features. 24/7 video surveillance in every cell. Guards check cells every 30 minutes, metal detectors at every entrance, 300+ guards on duty, double walls and fences, motion sensors everywhere, no contact with other prisoners. El Chapo is placed in cell 20 Block 2, maximum security wing. The cell, 2 meters by 3 meters, concrete bed, no mattress, too easy to hide things, concrete desk, toilet, sink, shower behind a small partition, the only place without cameras, privacy regulations. El Chapo sits on his concrete bed, looks around the cell, studies every detail, the walls, the floor, the ceiling, the shower partition. He has unlimited money. He has an army of people loyal to him. Engineers, corrupt officials, time. The question isn't if he'll escape, it's how.
August 2014, outside the prison, a man walks around the perimeter of Altiplano, taking photos, using a GPS device, measuring distances. His name is Miguel. He's an engineer. He works for the Sinaloa Cartel. Miguel's job, figure out how to get El Chapo out of an escape-proof prison. He studies the layout, the walls, the guard towers, the underground infrastructure. Breaking through the walls? Impossible. They're reinforced concrete, 3 feet thick. Breaking through the gate? Suicide. Guards everywhere. Automatic weapons. Helicopter extraction? They'd shoot it down before it landed. Miguel thinks about the problem for weeks. Then he has an idea. What if they don't go through the walls or over them? What if they go under? A tunnel. But not just any tunnel. This needs to be perfect. El Chapo's cell is inside a maximum security prison. To reach it, they'd need to tunnel under the outer walls, under the inner walls, under the security perimeter. Miguel calculates. Approximately 1.5 kilometers, nearly a mile. Underground. It sounds impossible, but Miguel has resources. The Sinaloa Cartel has money, billions of dollars. They can hire the best engineers, the best miners, the best equipment, and they have something else, corrupt officials inside the prison. Miguel makes a phone call.
I need the exact GPS coordinates of cell 20.
Within 24 hours, a guard inside Altiplano sends him the coordinates. Down to the centimeter, the planning begins. September 2014, Santa Juanita, a small neighborhood 1.5 kilometers from Altiplano Prison. A man named Carlos approaches a property owner.
I want to buy your land. That unfinished house. How much?
The owner is confused. The house has been abandoned for years. Half-built, no roof, just concrete walls and dirt.
$50,000.
The owner says, expecting negotiation.
I'll give you 100,000. Cash. Today. No questions.
The owner agrees immediately. Carlos now owns a property exactly 1.5 kilometers from El Chapo's cell. Perfect straight line, GPS verified. The property has something else valuable: privacy. No neighbors close by, surrounded by empty fields. Nobody to notice construction noise. Carlos hires a construction crew.
We're building a warehouse. Underground storage for merchandise.
The crew starts digging, but they're not building storage. They're building a tunnel. October 2014, Santa Juanita, the half-finished house. 20 men gather in the darkness, miners from Sinaloa, construction workers from Durango, engineers from Mexico City. They've been recruited carefully, each one vetted, each one paid more money than they've seen in their lives. And each one knows, if they talk, their families die. The foreman, a man named Hector, addresses them.
We're building a tunnel, 1.5 kilometers, straight to Altiplano Prison. You have 9 months.
Work around the clock. 3 shifts. 8 hours each. No days off.
The men look at each other.
Is this possible?
Someone asks. Hector nods.
This is how it should be. El Rápido is counting on us.
That name changes everything. El Chapo, the most powerful man in Mexico. These men aren't just building a tunnel, they're rescuing a legend. Work begins that night. The first challenge: dig straight down, 10 meters, through clay, rock, and underground water. They start with shovels, pickaxes, the old way, slow, methodical. Every bucket of dirt is hauled up by rope. After 1 week, they're 3 meters down. The walls keep collapsing. Water seeps in from underground springs. Hector makes a decision.
We need concrete. Reinforce as we go.
They pour concrete walls, install steel reinforcement bars. The shaft becomes a cylinder, solid, permanent. 2 months later, they hit 10 meters. The bottom is wide enough for 2 men to stand. A wooden ladder runs up one side. At the top, they install a trap door, 50 centimeters square, covered with plywood and dirt. Invisible unless you know it's there. Now comes the hard part: digging sideways. November 2014. The horizontal tunnel begins. They use a professional surveyor, a man with military GPS equipment. He takes measurements, calculates angles, marks the exact direction.
Dig at bearing 273 degrees. Maintain that angle for 1,500 meters. You'll emerge directly under cell 20.
The margin for error, 50 centimeters. Miss by more than that, and they'll be under the wrong cell, or under a wall, or nowhere useful. The digging is brutal. 8 hours a day, 3 shifts. Men crawling on their hands and knees, chipping away at rock and clay. They advance 3 to 5 meters per day. Some days less if they hit hard rock. Every meter, they install wooden support beams. The ceiling is reinforced. The walls are braced. This tunnel needs to last long enough for one escape, but it also needs to not collapse and kill everyone inside. December 2014. They're 200 meters in. The air is getting thin. Men are passing out from lack of oxygen. Hector installs the first ventilation shaft. PVC pipes running back to the surface. A fan pushing fresh air down. It helps, but barely. By February 2015, they're halfway. 750 meters. The tunnel stretches into darkness behind them. LED lights every 10 meters mark the path. But problems are mounting. The dirt, 800 cubic meters of it. Where do you put that much dirt without drawing suspicion? At night, trucks arrive, load the dirt, drive to different locations across the city. Construction sites, empty lots, dumps. The dirt is scattered, hidden. Nobody notices. The noise. Pneumatic drills are loud. Jackhammers echo underground. Solution: work during the day, when traffic noise from the nearby highway masks the sound. At night, only hand tools. Quiet, slow, but necessary. March 2015. They pass the 1 kilometer mark, 500 meters to go. April 2015. The digging is almost done. Now they need to make the tunnel functional. First, better ventilation. The motorcycle will produce exhaust, carbon monoxide, deadly in an enclosed space. They install 6 industrial fans, PVC ducting every 100 meters. Air flows from the entrance to the exit. It's loud, but it works. Second, lighting. LED strips every 10 meters, powered by generators at the entrance. The tunnel glows with white light. You can see from one end to the other. Third, the rails. For the motorcycle, they install metal rails, like a miniature train track. The rails run the entire length of the tunnel, welded together, smooth. The motorcycle arrives in May. A Honda, modified. The handlebars are lowered. The wheels are replaced with flanged wheels that grip the rails. A throttle control, a seat for 2. They test it. The motorcycle rolls smoothly on the rails, 20 kilometers per hour. Faster than walking, slow enough to be controlled in the narrow tunnel. 1 test run, entrance to exit, 7 minutes. Perfect. Inside Altiplano Prison, El Chapo has been waiting for 9 months. He doesn't know the exact timeline, but he knows it's being built. Corrupt guards give him updates.
2 more months. 1 more month.
Very soon, it will happen. Just wait.
El Chapo maintains his routine, wakes up, eats, exercises, sits on his concrete bed, showers behind the partition. The guards watch him on cameras 24/7, but they don't watch the shower. Privacy regulations. Prisoners are allowed 30 minutes of unmonitored shower time. That's the window. June 2015. A guard approaches El Chapo during lunch, hands him a tray. Under the food, a note. July 11th, 9 p.m., be ready. El Chapo eats the note, no evidence. July 11th, that's 30 days away. He waits. July 10th, 2015, 11 p.m. Underneath cell 20, a tunnel crew is directly below El Chapo's cell. 10 meters of concrete and reinforcement above them. They've been drilling upward for 3 days. Slow, careful, silent. The drill breaks through. A small hole, 5 centimeters wide. Fresh air rushes down. They're through. Now comes the hardest part. Expanding the hole, making it large enough for a man to fit through, without alerting the guards. They drill at night, when the prison is quieter, when fewer guards patrol. By dawn on July 11th, the hole is 50 centimeters square, just wide enough. They insert a ladder. Secure it. Wait. Tonight, El Chapo escapes.
Quick note before we continue too. We've just launched channel memberships.
If you want to support the channel and get early access, exclusive videos, and custom emojis, we'd love to have you join us.
All right, back to the story.
July 11th, 2015, 8:52 p.m. El Chapo lies on his concrete bed. The camera above him records everything. He looks calm, but his heart is pounding. The plan. At 8:52 p.m., he'll go to the shower. The guards will see him step behind the partition, and then he'll disappear. The timing is based on guard patterns. Every evening, between 8:50 p.m. and 9:20 p.m., there's a shift change. Guards are distracted. Monitors are watched less carefully. It's a 30-minute window. El Chapo needs 24 minutes to escape. Get down the ladder. Ride the motorcycle. Exit the tunnel. Get in a car. Disappear. 8:52 p.m. El Chapo stands, walks to the shower area, steps behind the partition. The camera loses sight of him. Normal. Privacy regulations. El Chapo looks at the shower floor. There, a 50-centimeter square hole, cut perfectly. A ladder extends down. He lowers himself into the hole. Feet on the ladder, climbing down, 10 meters straight down. In the darkness, he can see LED lights below the tunnel. His feet hit the bottom. He's standing in a tunnel 1.7 meters high. Wooden beams support the ceiling. LED lights stretch into the distance. And there, a motorcycle, sitting on rails, engine idling quietly. A man stands next to it.
Jeffy, we need to go, now!
El Chapo climbs on the motorcycle. The man climbs on behind him, grabs the controls. The motorcycle moves forward on the rails. Smooth, steady, like a train on tracks. They accelerate, 10 kilometers per hour, 15 kilometers per hour, 20 kilometers per hour. The tunnel walls blur past. Wooden supports every few meters, lights, ventilation fans pushing air. El Chapo rides through 1.5 kilometers of tunnel. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Ahead, an end to the tunnel, a vertical shaft, another ladder leading up. 8:59 p.m. They stop. El Chapo climbs off, starts climbing the ladder. Up, up, up. At the top, an opening, covered by a piece of plywood. El Chapo pushes it aside. He emerges into a half-finished house. Concrete walls, dirt floor, no roof, and, waiting outside, a white van. 9:01 p.m. El Chapo climbs into the van. It drives away, heading toward the mountains. Behind him, 1.5 kilometers away, Altiplano Prison has no idea their most famous prisoner is gone. 9:17 p.m. Altiplano Prison, Cell 20. A guard walks past El Chapo's cell, glances at the monitor, sees an empty bed.
Where is he?
The guard checks the shower area on camera. Can't see behind the partition. Privacy. But El Chapo has been behind there for 25 minutes now. That's unusual. The guard radios his supervisor.
Subject 3870 has been out of camera view for extended time. Should I check?
Go check.
The guard opens the cell door, walks to the shower partition, looks behind it. Nobody there. His eyes move down, to the floor, to a hole, 50 centimeters square, a ladder descending into darkness.
Code red. Escape. Inmate 3870 has escaped.
Alarms sound throughout the prison. Guards rush to cell 20. They look down the hole, shine flashlights, see the tunnel.
Get me the director, now!
9:25 p.m. The prison director arrives, looks at the hole. His face goes pale.
How is this possible?
Guards descend into the tunnel. They walk its length, 1.5 kilometers. LED lights, ventilation, a motorcycle on rails, professional engineering. They emerge at the other end, a half-finished house, empty, fresh tire tracks outside. El Chapo is gone. 9:40 p.m. The director calls the Mexican Attorney General.
El Chapo has escaped.
Silence on the line, then.
What? What do you mean he escaped?
He had a tunnel under the prison. Professional construction. He's gone.
By 10 p.m., every news station in Mexico has the story. By 11 p.m., international news picks it up. The Mexican government is humiliated. They promised he wouldn't escape. They built an impossible prison, and El Chapo walked out through a hole in the floor. July 12, 2015, 6 a.m. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto addresses the nation.
Escape from Altiplano Federal Prison. A massive manhunt is underway. He will be recaptured.
But El Chapo has a 9-hour head start, and he knows how to disappear. The manhunt mobilizes. 10,000 Mexican soldiers, federal police, state police, US DEA agents, FBI, helicopters, drones, checkpoints on every highway. The reward, $3.8 million for information leading to his capture. But finding El Chapo in Mexico is nearly impossible. The Sinaloa Cartel controls entire regions. Local populations are loyal, either through fear or money. El Chapo retreats to the Sierra Madre Mountains, his home territory. He moves between safe houses, never stays more than 2 nights, always surrounded by armed guards. The government searches for 6 months, raids dozens of properties, finds nothing. El Chapo is a ghost, but everyone makes mistakes eventually. December 2015. Sean Penn contacts El Chapo. Penn, the Hollywood actor, wants to interview El Chapo for Rolling Stone magazine. Through intermediaries, El Chapo agrees. Why? Ego. El Chapo wants to tell his story, wants to be seen as more than a criminal, wants recognition. It's a mistake. October 2015. Penn travels to Mexico, meets El Chapo in a secret location in the jungle. They talk for hours. Penn records everything. El Chapo doesn't know. Mexican intelligence is monitoring Penn. They track his movements. They know he met with El Chapo. They narrow down the location, a region in Sinaloa State, Durango Mountains, January 2016. Intelligence intercepts a phone call. El Chapo's voice. He's in Los Mochis, a coastal city in Sinaloa. Mexican Marines mobilize. January 8, 2016, 4:40 a.m., Los Mochis, Sinaloa. Mexican Marines surround a White House in a residential neighborhood. Intelligence says El Chapo is inside. They breach the doors. Flash bangs. Gunfire. El Chapo's guards return fire. The battle lasts 15 minutes. 5 guards killed. 1 Marine wounded. But during the chaos, El Chapo escapes. Again. Through a tunnel. Again. This tunnel isn't sophisticated. Just a crude escape route under the bathroom. It leads to the city's storm drain system. El Chapo and his lieutenant crawl through the sewers. Emerge 6 blocks away. Steal a car. They drive toward the edge of the city. But the Marines have checkpoints everywhere. At 6:15 a.m., Marines stop a stolen white car. 2 men inside. 1 short, mustache.
Get out of the vehicle!
The men comply. Hands up.
Guzmán, Loero?
El Chapo nods.
Yes!
For the 3rd time, El Chapo is captured. But this time, there will be no escape. January 8, 2016. El Chapo returns to Altiplano, the same prison he escaped from. But this time, there's no shower partition, no blind spots. Reinforced steel floor. Guards check every hour. He knows. This time, there's no way out. His lawyers fight extradition for a year. Appeal after appeal. But Mexico has had enough. January 19, 2017. El Chapo is put on a plane to New York, extradited to the United States. November 2018. The trial begins. The prosecution presents 200 hours of testimony. 14 former cartel members testify against him. The evidence is overwhelming. February 12, 2019. The verdict, guilty on all counts. July 17, 2019. Sentencing.
I sentence you to life imprisonment plus 30 years. You will never see freedom again.
El Chapo is transferred to ADX Florence, Colorado. America's only Supermax prison, the place where escape is impossible. 23 hours a day in a 7-by-12-foot concrete cell. No windows, no human contact. Soundproof walls. Nobody has ever escaped ADX Florence. Nobody ever will. El Chapo will die there. No tunnels, no motorcycles, no escape. Does he think about the tunnel? About that motorcycle ride through 1.5 kilometers of LED-lit engineering? About emerging into the Mexican night? Free? Probably every day. Because now, he has nothing but memories. And time. Life plus 30 years. In a 7-by-12 concrete box. The man who escaped the impossible prison. Caught anyway.